Okay, so in the last couple of days, this guy named Don Adams, who is a former FBI agent, released an audio recording to Fox News in Dallas, basically showing this man named Miltry, something like that, as being recorded in Miami several days before, or weeks before, some period of time before JFK was shot in Dallas, saying that it's going to be done with a high-powered rifle from an office building, and then was recorded again afterwards saying, "See, I told you we were going to do it." No links for this one. You're going to have to find it for yourself. But I've done a little more investigating with this. There was a whistleblower or a leaker from last year, E. Howard Hunt. The different pieces of information together, you come up with a pretty understandable story. LBJ wanted more power and money, and he went along with what was going on because it was going to put him in a position of power in the U.S. government. In my personal opinion, JFK was one of the last true patriotic presidents that we had. And I'm sure everybody's heard his famous speech where he said, "Secrecy in an open society is repugnant," and it goes on from there. Look that up too. It's a really interesting speech. Now, some of the people that were involved, this military guy was, or another man that was involved with it and sent away to Rome, was hated by Robert Kennedy, and from what I understand was involved with the mafia. And this is why they're now saying that Robert, JFK, and Martin Luther King were all killed by the same people who were trying to take over this country back before my lifetime. This has got to be one of the first conspiracies that I really took hold of when I was younger. And to think that one person with a bolt-action rifle hit a moving car with a tree in front of them within 7.5 seconds, I think is pretty ridiculous, seeing as I like to go shooting several times a month myself. It's a very interesting story I think people should go and look into. But here's the point I'm making. If the Vice President, CIA, head officials, people like George Bush Sr., who was filmed or photographed at the Texas where was Lee Harvey Oswald said he was shot from, the school book depository. Bush was filmed in front of the school book depository and became CIA chief, or CIA head of the CIA, later became president, whose son became president. To find out that these people very well could have all been involved, and is a much more clear story than the official story put out there by the Warren Commission. How in the fuck do you not think that 9/11 could be an inside job also? You gotta look at Building 7. I mean, this thing wasn't touched by the other buildings, and somehow it set on fire and fell in its own footprint at free fall speed. There's tons of other questions, but that's one of the big glowing no-no things. So there's people never heard of Building 7 because only two buildings were hit by planes that day. And to think that the things that we're going through right now, the son of the person who very well could have been very much so involved in the assassination of JFK, in my opinion, the last great president of this country, who stopped the Cuban Missile Crisis, kept us from going into nuclear war, who tried to end the Federal Reserve and put the money back into the Treasury. No wonder they killed him. It didn't please the mobsters and the banksters, who were basically the same people. Now think a generation later, the son of such a person, to be in cooperation with the banksters and whoever else to bring down the World Trade Center towers and to get the American people to believe in such a lie that it would take them into a two-front war, and plausibly a third front war right now, into a World War III scenario, so that they could gain more power in this country, enacting things like the Patriot Act, these banker bailouts that have given trillions of dollars to the banksters, and also secured oil and giant military contracts. I don't know how people would be able to look at this information and believe that official stories are correct. Listen, the government already taxes you like upwards of 50% of your income, whether it be sales tax at the store, gas tax, property tax, income tax, and everything else. They're tired of you making money. They're tired of you being free. They're tired of you making decisions for yourself because they have things so wrapped up that they know they can make decisions for you, because you fucking people eat it up every day of your life. It's time for people to realize what's going on in this world and to start pointing fingers at the real people who are doing these things, because it's tearing our families apart, it's tearing our country apart, and it's tearing apart the future for our children. Now is not the time to be a stupid sheeple. Now is the time to be patriots and to be real Americans. I was looking for something here. I'll give you an exact quote. George Washington said, "Government is not reason, it is not eloquence, it is a force. Like fire, it is a dangerous servant and a fearful master." Isaiah 10:1 and 2, "Woe to those who decree unjust statutes, and those who continually record unjust decisions, and deprive the needy of injustice, and to rob the poor of my people and of their rights." And one of my favorite is Edmund Burke, from 1729 to 1797, said, "The only thing necessary for evil to triumph is for good men to do nothing." Red pill or blue pill? Ultimately, it's your choice. And when you lay down, accept the official stories, and decide that you would do nothing as people stampede our society in the way that it was, in the way that it is, in the way that it's free, to take those things from us, to take our religious beliefs from us, our rights to have those, God-given rights to have free speech, the freedom of the press, to defend ourselves. If you take the blue pill, you're a loyalist, in my opinion. And the very complacency of your sheepilism will be to your own ruin and the detriment of your families. Think about it. But don't listen to me. Research it yourself. See what you come up with. Show me I'm wrong. Till next time, YouTube, I'm out.